When I was asked to speak, my first thoughts were, what can I say on Memorial Day that hasn't been said 1,000 times before and been said by people more eloquent than I? I'm not a speechwriter. I'm not comfortable speaking in front of groups. But as I look around now, all I see is friends. I see friends in a community called Clarkstown, a place I call home. The only thing I could think of to talk about today was what Memorial Day meant to me and how that's evolved over the years. When I was a child, Memorial Day was a day off from school, a barbecue, old men outside the grocery store selling poppies with their American Legion hats that my father never failed to buy and wear proudly on his lapel. It wasn't so much about soldiers or pausing to remember. My Uncle Greg took me when I was in high school to Washington, D.C. to see the Vietnam Veterans Memorial. I remember walking up to the wall and touching it and feeling a few of the names, running my fingers along the granite. All along the wall, there were veterans and family members looking at names, making stencils, and leaving memories at the base of the wall. So many of them were crying. I felt like I didn't belong there, though. I was a tourist intruding on something deeply personal. I left them with their sorrow, but with a better understanding of Memorial Day. Now I understood that it was more than just names on a wall. It was about loss and suffering and not forgetting. I really thought I understood Memorial Day back then in high school. Fast forward to Memorial Day 2006, I found myself in Iraq prepping for the day's mission. Before we rolled out, I read the names of all the soldiers we had lost that year. These were our friends, colleagues, who were more just names than in a newspaper. These were the men we trained with, we laughed with, we ate meals with, we shared our stories with. We knew their families. We knew their histories. We knew them. We stood in the desert heat and honored them best we could. Helmet on a rifle, a pair of boots, dog tags, a final roll call, and a salute. Memorial Day suddenly took on a new meaning for me. This was about as deeply as I could understand anything. I got it now. I got it. I could go stand at war memorials and not feel like a tourist. I could go to Arlington and visit friends, not just wander around looking randomly. I had a purpose there. Finally, fully understanding Memorial Day, I told myself there are no more layers to this. A few years ago, I started working at the Rockland County Veterans Office. I've met hundreds and hundreds of veterans from all wars and peacetime service. The thing about my office is that nobody comes there unless they need help. They're physically sick, they're suffering with old injuries, they're struggling with emotional and mental anguish because the ghosts don't go away. The toxins from chemicals that laid their seeds are now destroying bodies with cancer. The smoke inhaled from toxic waste and burn pits are ravaging respiratory systems. We all have too many visions in the night, and none of us sleep well. But at least in my office, we can take off the rucksack of memories, and we can laugh a little. Those, to me, are the good days. No, actually, those to me are the great days when we laugh together. Spending time at our veterans cemetery here in the county has taken on a new meaning for me. I go there often, and I see names of friends that just a short time ago sat with me in my office. Friends who laughed, and friends who cried with me. They gave me the gift of friendship that I never expected to find in that building up on Squadron Boulevard. I understand that for some of these illnesses, there are no cures. that the inevitability of death is something we all must face at some point. But the mental anguish that is an epidemic amongst our veteran community is the most difficult thing for me to face. These hidden illnesses are not always fully evident, and for some, just a little too difficult to bear. Those are the toughest of days for me in that office. Those are the losses that are hardest to comprehend. Memorial Day has taken on yet another meaning for me this year. It's not just those who never came home that I remember. It's the friend that I lost this year and last year and will lose next year. Those are the ones that are really weighing on me today. I guess Memorial Day is a breathing, living ideal that will continue to evolve as I get older. I'm not going to say I fully understand Memorial Day yet. I've been proven wrong every time I make that assumption. It's often been said that Memorial Day is not about picnics, it's not about baseball games, it's not about hot dogs. I couldn't disagree more. That is exactly what our fallen brothers would have wanted. That is exactly what we fight for. Take some time to reflect and remember, but then go enjoy these very freedoms that are America. I'll take my time to remember. I'll never forget, and I will never forget. This year, Captain Brian Freeman, wherever you are, you're still making us laugh every day, my brother. We miss you. God bless you, and thank you.